Hi. So I just came back from Furality, and if you don't know what that is, it's a VRchat furry convention. Why would that be a thing? I don't know. It is. It's where people from all over the world can come together and enjoy certain events and meetups together. So if you're a wolf, you can go to a wolf hangout. If you're a fox, you can go to a fox hangout, etc., etc. They've got DJ sets, they've got presentations, they've got charity auctions, all that fun stuff. Check it out. But I thought it'd be interesting to kind of talk about my experience with Furality this year. And the reason why is because I feel like it's been very polarizing for people. Like, I had a good time, spoilers, but some people just didn't. And let's talk about that. So a little backstory. I went to Furality last year and had a terrible time. I was nervous. I was shy, but more than anything, I went to the dealer's den and I saw some big content creators there, and it brought back a lot of like really bad feelings and depression, anxiety, and I just started to spiral and had a really bad time. I could not recover from that. It was terrible, terrible. So I wasn't actually planning on going this year. Furality day one. The first thing I went to was the Wolf meetup. I was hoping to get to know some people, meet strangers, say hi, introduce myself, all that stuff. But the very first thing that happened to me was somebody I knew as an acquaintance came up to me, said hi, we chatted a bit, and then they asked to take maternity-themed photos with me, which was a bit of a strange start to the day. Yeah, that happened. I politely said no, and they understood, so which I'm grateful for. But that was a shock. Then I went to the retro enthusiast meetup, and I was still nervous. So in my usual way, I was like, "Oh, I'll crack jokes," I saw this like green dragon fella, and I was like, "Oh, that's Old Beast, right?" You know what Old Beast is, yeah? All the boomers. They were like, no, it's not Old Beast. I'm like, oh, well, you could say it is now. And then we had a little laugh and just kept going. There was this kind of area on top of a building. There was a few people hiding out, and I kind of went up there to explore. And I heard some people talking to this other fellow who was really nervous because there was so much noise in the courtyard, so many voices. So I got talking to him, I made like a passive comment. I was just like, oh yeah, it's so noisy down there, isn't it? So we connected over that, and we spoke a bunch, and it was very sweet. I found out they're a big fighting game enthusiast, which I'm a big fighting game enthusiast. I'm not very good at them, but I'm a big fan. But they were really good. They've been on like the main stage and like top 8s at events and stuff like that. So that was very cool. I added them as a friend. I'm really happy to have spoken with them because that was a lot of fun. That was really nice. Then I went to the rhythm games meetup. So I like rhythm games, but I'm not like an avid player. But I kind of went there to just be with somebody who I care about. A very close friend, very dear to me. And I wanted to hang around with them, support them if they were nervous. And they were quite shy and nervous. So in my usual like I'm gonna make an ass of myself way to break the ice, I started going around to strangers who were just hanging off to the side and be like, oh, do you hate Osu? And then seeing how they would react to kind of connect my friend Nix and the stranger and get them to chat. And the stranger was like, it's okay, it's all right. And then somebody else came over and was like, oh, I heard somebody hates Osu. And then like we talked, and then somebody else, and then somebody else. And there was like, I don't know, like 5 or 6 of us at this point, and the conversation went like deep into like arcade machines and stuff, which was starting to go a bit over my head. But it was fun. It was nice. And then we went off to go talk to other people, and I saw like a little Vocaloid person, and we spoke with them, and they were super nervous, super shy and nervous. And it was nice. It was really nice kind of being able to help somebody kind of come forward to kind of engage and communicate. That was really sweet. Some of their, like, I think their closest friend came over and was like, oh my god, you're talking? Like, that was, like, it was that big a moment for them. So that was really sweet. I enjoyed that bit a lot. That made me very happy. Oh, yeah, then I got recognized by somebody on on the Funny Atari website. That was the first person who recognized me. That was fun. They seem very sweet. I hope I see them more. Not much else to say. It's very strange and nice being recognized. Don't think I'm accustomed to it. But it's nice. It's nice. It sort of feels validating. Yeah. Oh, then I went to the short form content creator meetup. And that was just a bust. Yeah, so there was like large content creators at the content creator meetup, the short form content creator meetup. And they were just getting like smothered by people. And I tried to get somebody's attention and I called their name like 4 times. I was like stood by like, I don't know, half a foot behind them. And I said the name 4 times and they didn't acknowledge me. So that was weird, but it didn't ruin my day. The rest of the day was just honestly really nice. Speaking to all those people, getting to connect with strangers over familiar, like similar interests, or even like being nervous. That was really nice. That one made me really happy that day. I'm glad I went. Furality day 2. So I had some events I was going to go to in the early evening, but I ended up blowing them off because 15 minutes before going live, Ash and Freckles invited me on their stream and had this idea that I wanted to do for a couple weeks with them. So I just leapt to the opportunity. I threw on my full body tracking and I started exploring Silent Hill in VR, and they captured that footage and put it on their stream. So instead of like a little reactive character, they had a live feed of me going around Silent Hill and talking to them about Silent Hill and just having a general like good time. Honestly, I had lots of fun. And then eventually I went to the hot tub. There was like a hot tub and I was just chilling in there, and then Ash started reading the fan fiction that Nis wrote about me. I'm saying these names like you know who they are, but just they're my friends. That was really fun but embarrassing. They had to stop short before it started getting intimate. And Jin drew a piece of art about me, or of me. That made me really happy. I was super blushy. I was so embarrassed. It made me so happy though. If I remember correctly, I'll like put it up on the screen somewhere. Thank you, Jin. I love that picture. Thank you. So after that, I went back into Furality for the full body tracking meetup, and I met Pyro there. Pyro's very sweet. I've known Pyro for a while. Super cute little bunny. But there was a lot of like technical talk that was just kind of going over my head with stuff like that. So it's kind of a bit of a meh time. Not really my vibe, I guess. I'm not a very tech savvy person, unfortunately. But then me and Pyro went to the gender fluid meetup, and that was really nice. We didn't really talk to any strangers or get to connect with anyone, but we shared our experiences with one another, and that was very sweet. We went off to the side and had a good nice chat. You know, I feel like I don't have those kinds of talks with people enough, or at least very often, and so it was really nice, honestly, to share that moment with Pyro. That was I like that one a lot. Thank you, Pyro. Then I went to the streamers meetup. Someone there recognized me, and they were like, "Hey, I think I've seen you around." And I spoke to them, and I had them as a friend. But honestly, the streamer meetup was kind of a bust. I met some friends of a friend, but they didn't seem to care all that much to speak to me. They were too busy having fun, I suppose. Then I tried to hang out with Nix, but their instance was full, and vrchat bugged out, and I was running out of time because I needed to record the Summer Games Fest. So I did that. First of all, the Summer Games Fest was incredible. I was in tears by the end of it. Good God. I'm really glad. Like at this point in the Furality, I was really glad that I decided not to stream. I was considering it for a while, but I'm really glad I didn't. It just allowed me to be more in the moment, more present, and open, I think. More genuine, I suppose. Instead of being like perhaps more flamboyant or more cheeky or more funny, you know. I don't change too much when I stream, but I think a lot of people like will just naturally dial themselves up like a few bits. And I don't think it's necessarily like a conscious decision. I think it's just sort of becomes a natural reaction to being live. So I'm glad I didn't stream. I really am, because I just got to be more me. Speaking of being me, side note, I had this whole avatar set up with a mechanical arm and but I ended up just not using it because it felt too flamboyant as well, like too bam, like look at me, wow. And I just wanted to be me, so I was just going around in my jeans and jumper and just having a great time, honestly. So after I got the Summer Games Fest video all sorted, edited, thumbnails, scheduled, blah blah blah, I jumped back into VR and I saw Ash and Freckles again. God, I love those two, they're so cute. And I saw Freckles' new avatar, and it's just the cutest little like puppet, and I would just want to squeeze his face. Oh my god, it's adorable. Oh, you know, like cute aggression. Yeah, that's. I finally got to ask Chip why they have 4 arms on their, you know, on their OC, and it's actually a really simple and wholesome reason. It's just to help with like carrying the workload, like multitasking, like very practical. And I really liked that. It was really endearing. It was so like, it felt so genuine and heartfelt, so simple and sincere. So I like that a lot. So the person who wrote the fanfiction finally got to meet Ash, who read my fanfiction live on stream, and watching those two like connect was really funny. Nis came up to Ash and they were like, "Hey, you're the one who read the thing," and then Ash immediately started blushing. I was like, "Oh my god, no, I've been caught," because obviously they had some criticisms, some feedback, and they were like poking fun at some of the writing. But Nis was a really good sport. They appreciate the feedback, and it was just really nice to see them like finally connect and meet and just have a good time. And I think, you know, that's sort of what's fun about Furality, is that people coming together from like different walks of life, but will have something in common and just connecting over that. I think that's really charming. It's not like the people I met there I have a deep connection with, but the fact that I have a connection with somebody over something it's just nice. It feels really heartwarming. Yeah. So I went to one of the club worlds, and I wasn't expecting to enjoy it that much because I'm not a big fan of that kind of scene. But I actually rather did, I must admit. I can't remember what music was playing. I know the first set was more my vibe, and I wanted to listen to it, but somebody like came over and started talking to me, and we were talking about content creation and retro games, and they're a Twitch streamer as well. So we connected there as well. That was nice. Added them as a friend. Then just for a little bit, I like ran off with Nix, and we had a little slow dance in the corner together, which was really sweet. It's a really like tender, wonderful moment between us, and it made me very happy. Furality Day 3 was a bit slow to begin with. I went to the EU meetup, but I couldn't really find anyone to kind of talk with, and I was having difficulty breaking ice, and something was kind of just holding me back, and I don't really know what it was. But I ended up going to see Freckles and Ash again, and Freckles was still having tech issues from the day before. We managed to help them out and get it sorted. Turns out they had a different VRChat account on the website and one they'd logged into in the game. It's kind of silly, but we got there in the end, and everyone was able to have a good time. Oh, and I met Rose and Vishki while hanging out with Ash and Freckles, and that was really sweet. Because I was having so much time hanging out with them, I missed the anime. Excuse me, I missed the animator meetup, but I'm not really an animator myself. It's just something I want to get into. Hello, Duck. But that's fine. I don't regret it. I had a great time with Ash, Freckles, Rose, and Vishki. So then I went to the retro games meetup, and I got recognized a 4th time. I don't remember how many times I've written down in my notes, but I know it was 4 times, which was kind of surprised. Honestly, I didn't expect even one person to recognize me. So it's nice. I just yeah, if you see me in Furality or VRchat, come say hi. Tell me where you saw me. It's nice. I like to know. Oh, at the retro game meet, we were like talking to somebody, and like other people would gravitate in, and then somebody else came in, and like that person would then go, and it was just, there was like 5 or 6 of us in a circle just talking and sharing experiences and feelings about different games and things. And that was a really nice conversation. That one, I like that one a lot. Yeah, it was so lovely to see people just kind of like, I'm not sure if comfortable is the right word, but people like, I guess feel safe enough to kind of like involve themselves. And because I feel like they were all quite nervous on some level, you know, looking back on it. So I'm learning that it makes me really happy when people feel involved or comfortable to feel like that they can involve themselves. That makes me really happy. That. So then I went to the photography meetup. So if you haven't seen, I like to do a lot of like pin-up work. I'll try and put some examples up on the screen. It's sort of my hobby, and I bought VRC Plus so I could print out the photos and show people. I thought it was being really clever. And then, you know, I saw some people there, spoke to them, and saw their work. And while I am quite proud of some of my photos, seeing their work, which wasn't even pin-up, it was just like actual photography, was vastly superior to anything I made. Their technical like process, I guess, was really clever. Somebody like took photos and edited out the people's personas, or like their fursuit photography, and then they made a 3D environment in Blender, and then they put the images of the images they cut out into the shot, and they filled it with different objects like a table, barrel, and things, and then they kind of like textured the objects and made a whole scene. It was really clever stuff. It's really, really impressive. But then they saw my work, and I was terribly, terribly embarrassed. I felt like such a noob by comparison, and they were very complimentive to my work, and it felt really good, honestly. It made me really, really proud. They gave me some feedback here and there. There's one photo, I think I can show this one off, and it's like, you can kind of see I guess in the composition that there's like the background of what the character is looking at, so it's like telling a story. That was a really nice compliment to get, because I don't think I considered that per se, but I think it was like in my mind as like world building, I guess, but it wasn't like a super strong conscious thought. It was just like, this is what the character's doing. You know, I wasn't thinking about it per se as like I think the best way to describe it is, I was unwittingly thinking about it from like a photography point of view, but hadn't considered it like consciously as a part of the photography process. It was just a part of my process. So that was really nice. That made me really happy. Some people would grab my photos and just be like, damn, which is a little embarrassing. Because while I am quite, you know, proud of my figure, you know, I wanted to show off my work more than anything. And yeah, I made a few friends there, and got a lot of compliments from professional photographers, and that made me really happy. To be honest, that made me really happy. So then the last meetup I went to was the content creator meetup, and it was sort of a weird one. And this is sort of a weird take, and I understand that. I don't fully think I know why. I could try and like theorize. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. So I went to the content creator meetup, and then almost immediately I saw people, you know, streaming Furality, which makes sense. You're a content creator, you want to make content, but I'm a content creator, and I wasn't streaming it, and I'm glad I didn't stream it. So seeing other people stream it felt really jarring. It was it really took me kind of out of the moment, I think. It was a really weird reaction for me to have. And I don't fully understand why, but yeah. And then I spoke to somebody there, and they introduced me to their shy friend who likes Warhammer and board games, and we talked like extensively about board games and things, 'cause I'm a big board game fan. I don't get to play them very often. And that was lovely. Oh, excuse me. That was lovely. I had a great time. While still at the content creation meetup, a sweet rabbit came up to me and started talking. Jacka, that was the name, Jacka. They came over and started talking to me about content creation and fighting games, and we were having a really pleasant conversation. And other people came over to say hi to me, and it was really nice. Thank you for saying hi to me, Jacka. Furality day 4. So there weren't any meetups I was interested in until 8 p.m. So I spent the morning just adding a new outfit to my avatar. And then I went and hung out with like all of my friends that I could find. And it was the best. It was the best. I got to hang out with Ash, Freckles, Chip, Rose, Lumi, Kamari, Nova, Nyx, Nis, Koz, Drav, Shido. So many people. It was just so much fun. Then the fireworks show. Let's talk about the fireworks show. The fireworks show was scheduled 2 a.m. Then it got pushed back to 3 a.m. Then it got pushed back to 3:15 a.m. And then it got pushed back to 5 a.m. And then when we saw that on the schedule, me and my friends were just like, screw this, and just logged off and played Wild Assault. Furality day 5. So I don't think there was a day 5 originally scheduled, but because of the mess-ups with the fireworks show and the hub world, so the hub world didn't get released until 2 days into the con. So I think they extended the con by an extra day. But at that point, like, we'd already been in VR for like, 4 days consecutively. Like, me and my friends were all a bit like burnt out and we're just like, nah, screw this. I did end up logging on and like recording like a DJ set of this horror music, which was quite fun. Maybe I'll put a clip in. But I was just, I was very much done with VR. Like, I was like 25 minutes into the set looking at my watch and I'm just like, I just want to get out of VR. And then they extended Furality by another day, and there was no way. I did end up logging in and recording the closing ceremony thing for my friend, but yeah, no, I was like really done with it at this point. So my closing thoughts. I had a great time. I'm so glad I did not stream it, and I'm so glad I got to spend time with so many friends and also meet so many new people. It was really kind of special. I think my favorite thing, as I say, was getting to talk with people who are also having a difficult time opening up and like connecting with them, like finding similar interests or like things that we've been through. It feels nice. It's sort of a nice reminder that we're not quite as alone as we might think we are. There's people out there who are willing to have a talk with us and a laugh and share this moment in time and space, and it's very sweet. It's very sweet. And I want to go again next year. So thank you for buying me a ticket, Nis, and thank you for convincing me to go Nyx. And thank you to everybody who spoke to me at Furality, and thank you to those who recognized me. Thank you. That made me very happy. Thank you to all my friends as well. I wouldn't have had a good time without all of you lovely people. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed the video. Be back to more horror games after this.